So, Court, and how about if you wanted, conversely, how did you want to get feedback as a setter? So there's, hey, I can give my hitter feedback, but the other thing is, if you're a hitter and you'd like to talk to your setter about the set, how did you want to hear that? And how could you guys maintain this kind of good relationship throughout that loop, that feedback loop?
Yeah. Well, first of all, you can do all the right things, and there's some of those feedback loops that are just more challenging than others. So I think that's just part of being on any team, and any setter is going to have that. But I think front loading it as much as possible. So helping the athletes have a language around timing. So like higher or slower or faster, like those words, everyone sees them differently. So making sure that's really clear to start with. And then the second key for me is like, it's always got to be solution based. So it's not like, oh, my bad, you're bad. No, you did great. I'll get the next, like who cares? This is what needs to happen to get the next one right. And so empowering them to not need to own it or like to look for whose fault it was, to just say, hey, what's next? How do we fix the next one? So language and then being really solution based is what I would go to. I don't like a lot of the awkward, like no, it's good. I just kind of maybe a little higher or, just tell me what you need. But I think that loop is a skill that we need to help players train in the same way that we train our timing and our footwork.
Well, and one of the conversations we would have with our hitters too, as a coach, is just look, setting is hard. Mm-hmm. You just might have an expectation that's outside of the reality. I think we talked about it in some places. Joe Trinzi did a study where even the best Pac-12 setters were on target in between 55 to 65% of the time. And so that was, 40% of the time, they're off target. And that's the best setters almost in the country. We're in a really high level league here. And so hitters have to understand, look, setters are doing the best they can quite often. And, if you're getting 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, pretty close to where you want it, you're really lucky. Yeah. That's a good setter. And so we would have to kind of temper the hitter's expectations to some degree. I'd see him walking over to talk and I'd be like, hey, look, they had to retreat into this funny spot and that was a little bit of a weird play. And, you're not going to get a perfect ball in this case every single time. So, kind of let's hold off on too much feedback here. And then the other feedback that I'd tell our hitters to give them is just how great the set was. Like, hey, I love that set. That was awesome. Keep that coming. And I told the hitters, guess who they're going to set more often? they're not going to set the crabby people that are always bitching at them. They're going to set the hitter that loves what they're giving them, that is stoked when they set them. And so we'd have some of those kind of conversations with our players as well.
Yeah, amen to that. I love that. I think too, I don't know if hitters understand this in the same way. Maybe they do with passing, but like the harder, I tell this all the setters, the harder we try to be perfect, usually the worse it gets. So like any of those, like when we're trying to be perfect, all of our muscles get tight. They actually fire differently. So we want to have like thoughts and we want to be like aggressive that are our thoughts being expansive, So we're loose, we're aggressive, and we just got to do what we do. So I love what you just said, Chris, for that reason. Yeah.